Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Tevon Norman Skinner, how are you, man?
Doing awesome, my friend.
I'm excited because you are singing for my favorite bands that kind of came back that was kind of gone off the radar for a long time. So that's how you're back on my radar. And then I've kind of started dipping into some other stuff you do too, which is kind of exciting. It's like a double bonus, you know? Because
Going down that rabbit hole.
well, it's hard because there's just so much music and there's so much good music. And
All
it's just
right.
no way to have all of it in front of you. So it's like, where's the clanging monkey with the cymbals that's going to bring your attention? So Forbid's gonna be that for me. But then I'm like, oh, he's got other stuff he does. I really like your voice, so I want to check out your other stuff,
Oh, very
which
cool. Thank you.
we'll talk about. I mean, you have a great website up, and I'll put the link under for people to go support and go to all your socials too. Now you just on tour. You just came back. Let's start
Yeah,
there.
we did that quick run with Violence and Venom Inc. down in South America. It was supposed to be 5 shows, ended up
Hmm.
being 3, but that's what happens when you're working with new promoters and stuff. And it was an unsure run, but it was cool just to be able to go on the road with our friends. You know what I mean? And just get down there. And those fans are so passionate too. So.
I've heard that. I actually part of me wants to see the shows, which wants to see the bands. I'd like to see a show down there just to see experience the fans experiencing a show because I mean those parts of the world, the metal is just like legendary. Like it's so much, you know, more intense, almost appreciative. I don't know.
It's something. I don't know if it's because they don't get a lot of concerts, but I mean they must. I mean,
I
I
feel like
always
they get a
see,
lot of good metal concerts.
yeah,
Are they just better with their emotions? Are we just,
it's
you know,
something's just ingrained in them or something. But yeah, yeah, every time I go down there, it's just like wow, it's a little overwhelming. It's definitely a lot different than here in the States, that's for sure.
are people recognizing you already now down there? Like probably is it actually more of a difference because I feel like
Yeah,
the fan base is, and actually anywhere outside the US, the fan base seems like it's strong. Like Europe is strong on metal, Brazil, the Southern, that those South America, those are very strong on metal. Always, never wavered.
right.
Unlike US has hot and cold, and I'm not
Yeah,
dissing US, I'm there. But I'm saying we're not always the most loyal metal groups, especially for
yes,
touring
true.
acts. It's about we can still love our music, but we're not going to the clubs in the shows, supporting the bands.
Right.
That's what the difference is, I think.
Yeah, it's more. I think in the U.S. it's more weekend warriors, right? Ooh, I get to get out of the house and go
Yeah,
to the amphitheater and see like whatever package is coming through.
it is. It's hard. And I think it's also maybe that's the dynamic of age groups too. And also it's different for cultures for your different countries. Like, right now I'm good for a ride for a band. I'd go see you guys. I'd probably drive like an hour and a half on a weeknight, on a late weeknight, out to another state. As long as the weather's not so bad I can't see because my eyesight is I'm getting old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas I'd just drive forever. I'd be like, oh, I'm so tired driving home. I don't care if I crash a car when I was younger. Now I do have a slight limit. Not as much as most people, but
No, no, I get it. I mean, I live up in the Sacramento area, and when bands are touring through the Bay Area, I'm very choosy if I want to go 2 to 2.5 hours down there,
right.
just to see a band. So I get it. Absolutely.
But then again, man, those other countries though, it doesn't really matter. I don't know.
Yeah, we hear. Oh, I was on the bus for 6 hours to come to the show, things like that, and like, wow, metal
I love that.
troopers. Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta fire you up though too to play live. Like, when was the first time you experienced that going over and doing that?
I believe it was the metal Chile Metal Fest
Mhm.
2 years ago in 2024, and I didn't know what to expect, and show up at the hotel, and there's already a huge group out there with their pictures and everything to sign, and they got gifts for you, and you're like, whoa. And I was still relatively new to the band,
Right.
but these guys, if they don't have anything official to sign, they'll go and they'll get some really good card stock and they'll print out like a picture of the band and make it look completely legit for you to sign and stuff. So
I love that. I love that do-it-yourself thing when it's meant for fans and not meant. Kind of got the Fugazi thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, make your own shirts. I'm not going to charge you for a shirt. Like it's got that real fan thing, and the
yes,
bands are okay because it's about the fans. It's not about you know
oh
selling it in the
yeah,
parking lot.
and the bootleg the bootleg scene down there is real. Like
Oh,
you'll play your venue, you go outside and literally in front of the venue there's just booths and booths of just your shirts, but they're not your shirts. You know what I mean? And it's cool.
That's
So
harsh.
and sometimes we'll go and be like, actually, I like that. I think I'll pick one of those up. You know what I mean? So yeah, but
Economics are a little different too, different countries. So I mean, you gotta, it's a little harder.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
little
I
more harder
mean,
around US when people are doing it. I mean, like, come on, guys, cut some slack. It's already hard enough to get gas wise, state to state.
exactly. But yeah, I don't mind when I'm down there and I see them doing it. It's like, okay, yeah, man, get yours. You know?
Well, I think you came in at a good time. I mean, Forbidden always had a great reputation, and obviously, sadly, the way the vocalist position changed, and then there was time between. But you coming in, it's very organic. There's no bad blood. The band's full of energy again. I've had Craig on a couple of times. So it's very exciting. And you come in on your own. You're a great vocalist. I've watched the clips online. Get to see you live yet. You deliver with such power and strength. One of my favorite things you do as a vocalist when you come into a band, you can hold both sides. You honor the other singer without competing with it, but you kind of fit on some level, but you're not changing yourself to sound like them.
Right.
Make sense? So
No,
you are who you are, but your voice also works that, but you're still you.
right.
And
We have a similar tones and similar sounds enough to where I can deliver the classic material what sounds comfortable to people. They're like, oh, this is
right,
what I'm used to hearing. Enough so where people think I'm Russ Anderson. I'm like,
really.
no, I'm a new singer. But
Well,
at the same time, yeah, I want to bring a freshness to it. I want to keep true to myself and add my own little
I think you
touches.
do. I think you have a great voice, and I think that I can hear the difference in it. I mean, but it works like in a good way. You know what I mean? So it feels like it's just like, oh, and that's what made me so excited when I heard the single came out. It just was perfect. Like they got it locked in. That's it. You guys just need to produce a lot of albums now. Make us happy.
All right. Well, we're working on that right now. That's for sure. So
How is that going? So, I mean, what's like, so we'll roll back a little bit. So you had the short little tour, and I actually had just promoted Craig on and Sean on, and Tony's always on. He's almost like a co-host at this point on.
I
He's my
love that
epic
guy.
man, right? He's awesome. So you guys had a short little thing, or other gigs you have set up over the year, and then you can be doing like pockets of recording or writing, or like where are we at with all that?
We're literally in the what I would consider the final stages of the album. I mean, the drums are done, the bass is done, all rhythm tracking is done. I thought that the vocals were like 95%, but I just was notified they want to do some rewrites. So I don't know right now what that entails, but I was looking to just go in and do some touch-ups. But I think there's some solos left to go, and then little bits of orchestration and what to polish it out. But the album is literally nearing the finish line. A full
Yeah,
12 tracks, so it's a big long album with lots of new music. Um,
good.
so yeah, that's where we're at, man. So other than that, I know that we have a local. We try to play in California at least once a year, since this
Mhm.
is where we're from. We're going to be doing our show on May 29th. I believe we might be back down in Southern California because we owe a promoter a show that didn't happen. So we want to fulfill all our obligations, and then it's off to
Right.
Europe for the festival scene all through June. So a lot of festivals, Hellfest, um, Mystic. We're playing Grass Pop. So there's a Sweden Rock. There's a lot of festivals, and then hopefully we'll fill the dates in between with maybe we'll jump on with another band and put a nice little
Yeah.
bill together. So some good club shows to fill it out. But that's it. I'm sure they're planning things for the fall as well, but I'm not privy to what's going on behind the scenes yet. So
You think you know somebody, right? I'm not looking to squeeze it out. You're just curious, like what's out there publicly to share.
you're right.
I'm not DMZ. I'm just talking about like what we're talking in the future with it. Well, definitely. I mean, the festivals is the best way to go as a band, and to get on it, you know, is the fans are right there. You have a huge crowd. I mean, it's the intense crowd is huge every time. I mean, as
Yeah,
an artist, that's all you want, right?
yeah. I mean, the festivals for me, the festivals are a no-brainer, right? You get a built-in audience. You have the ones that are going to go to your stage to watch you, and then
Mhm.
at the same time, you have all these other people that are going to check you out for the first time or wandering by. Those are potential new fans.
Well, that's
So
it. I mean, you're a new singer. They'll be like, yeah, I heard if they came out, I don't know if I'd go and see them to see the new singer type of deal. But you're
mhm.
like, but then you're like, oh, they're already here. I can walk 30 feet from getting a beer to whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then
Right,
check them
yeah,
out and be like, oh, yeah. And then you're just like, all right, now it's my time to win you over. And they'll be
sure,
like, okay, he was pretty cool. I'd check him out. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, you know, you can cross that line and bring in more
absolutely.
people, delivering it. Songwriting, though, how did songwriting go for you for vocally? Did you write lyrics? Were you part of the writing process or?
Yeah, it was a change. I think it's been a change for everyone involved in the camp. Prior to my joining Forbidden, per my understanding, was Craig would write maybe a good 80% of the lyrics, and
Mhm.
Russ would help him with a good 20%. I came in, we worked on Divided by Zero, where he gave me the chorus and a verse, which I
Yeah.
chopped up, and then I wrote the rest of it. And then after that, every song I wrote myself.
Oh, wow.
I showed them I'm a great lyricist. I can come up with the great melodies and ideas, and they kind of sat back and said, "Well, shit, go for it." So yeah, so I took care of all the remaining lyrics and melodies for the rest of the album. So
Oh, wow. So it kind of got a relief actually at some level. It's not a diss to other people, but if you're writing a lot of everything and you have somebody else that writes similar on the same page to take part of the workload and you can still keep your vision,
it's even
it's a
better.
plus.
Since you mentioned that, I didn't want to change. Forbidden's always had certain topics or a certain
Oh,
way
yeah.
of songs. So I did not. I told Craig. I said, "Hey, you can still come up with these song titles. You can tell me what you want the song to be about."
Right.
So he still gets his vision. I'm just taking that weight off and doing what I do. So
And you sing it so it's easier for you to figure out, what your voice can do
yep,
and you can kind of push it different ways, I mean, I'm sure the more albums you guys record, he's gonna be able to have an idea. I'm sure as time goes on, to write for each other will also be a
yeah.
thing.
I mean, this technically, even though I've been in the band, funny enough, I think it was around this time, or shortly, maybe 1 week after this time, about 3 years ago, was the time I got the call from Craig asking if I'd be interested in this. Um, and here we are 3 years in, still writing this album. It's still uncharted territory. We're still feeling it out and
Yeah.
figuring it out. So that's
Takes a
where we're
while to
at.
do it right though, right? I mean, it's funny because I think, yeah, I almost think that you were part of the conversation when I talked. I think I talked to Craig like almost 3 years ago. The first time we talked. I was totally stoked because I love Forbidden. And I was like, and we were talking about moving forward, new singer, and Russ has got it, you got your blessing with Russ, and it's all cool. So it's like the perfect, perfect storm, really. You know, everyone's all good, the family's all
Yeah.
good. It's easier without that garbage behind you that some bands have. Just plow forward. You have the new singer. You were great. You had great reviews from other stuff you've done. So you had a good word behind you. It was exciting. So it's funny now, 3 years later, you're chatting about new music. It's awesome, right?
It took a while. I mean, people are like, "What is taking so long with the music?" It basically
Everything
turned out,
else.
yeah, we were performing. Everybody wanted, a band was coming back, so it's like, well, let's book the band so everyone can hear it. So there wasn't a lot of writing time because it was like, well, we've got these shows coming up, got to be prepped for these shows. We did the whole Forbidden Evil anniversary, then we did the Twisted into Form anniversary. So
Oh,
there was a lot of that. So I think initially the idea was to appease the original fans,
mhm.
ease them into this, and make sure everything was set. And then now it's like, okay, now it's time to look forward.
To me, like the phrase, Twisted. That was I actually had that poster in my room when I was younger. I was in college because I was interning for the label. Had the
Okay.
big poster, the big green thing. I was like, it was the best thing ever. You know, That's Rebecca goes a band, but I think singing and being in a band for these 3 years is only going to make it a better album, though. Because sometimes, and this is from talking to a lot of artists, how they write songs, it almost feels like, yeah, the album was good. I tweaked this here. Now that we've been together touring, I would do this differently because I know how this person, for like a singer, sings differently, or I know that they can handle this now, or I would, what I'm saying,
Sure.
be a little more in tune and just like maybe the audience doesn't know, but we would feel the difference. So to have that extra time, plus when you're recording, you're not making money,
Right.
contrary to people's belief. I mean, they're serving you guys caviar and stuff on the Golden Bus. So
Wish.
that sarcasm button is broken here. No, but you guys are making money, and the money is in playing shows,
Right.
and
It's
everybody needs money to live, food,
we're
bills, stuff
yeah.
like that. No
We're
luxury
t-shirt
items.
salesmen. That's what we are.
Well, that's the other thing. Well, I have to say this though, if the music sucked, no one's buying the shirts mostly.
Right. I mean, you got to the music's got to be good enough to get them into the shows,
Shirts,
and
right?
then
It's
you
not hot.
can
You guys aren't hot topic. I mean,
right. Then you can put up your impulse shopping for them. Hey,
I'm telling you, but metal fans, I mean, for the most part, are not gonna wear bands shirts that they don't like. So it does go back to the music, you know.
yep.
Do you get a Kardashian or somebody wearing it? I would think that'd be great because if you're selling a shirt, you're selling a shirt. It's like your songs. You put it out to the universe, you've already lost control of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's not yours
Oh yeah.
anymore.
It's no longer really yours 100%. It's everybody's.
And that's the first thing as an artist. I mean, I was actually talking to Don McLean about American Pie like a couple days ago. And like it's everyone's song. I mean, like did you like once you wrote it, you wrote it for yourself. But once you put it out there, it's no longer yours anymore, man. It's like, yeah, that's
Mm-mm.
it. Once you write it, it's the universe's, you know. And
Yeah, no.
you putting a shirt, I mean, somebody wears it, who cares? As long as it's not in the news with a serial killer. Although if you're a metal band, it probably can help your sales, you know.
No, I agree. It's I don't care who's wearing it as long, yeah, right. As long as
You want
it's
to,
out there,
seriously,
free
you want a positive
publicity.
message. You don't want somebody doing something actually really bad. I mean, metal's fun
Yeah,
because it's make-believe horror. We don't want anything bad happening. But to that point, I mean, yeah, sell the shirts, pay the
it's
bills.
like yeah, it's like back in the. It kind of reminds me of another things back in the day when they were CD store before MP3s and whatnot. You know, I forget which band it was. I was seeing a band and they're like, yeah, we heard that a lot of people were stealing our album. Go for it. They got to pay us no matter what. So steal away, and
That's,
and different ways of looking at things like that. So like same with the
was that actually
shirts. It's
System of a
like
Down? That was their album title, right? Steal This Album. I think that was their album title
I know that they
around then.
did that, but that was because everyone was pirating
Right.
via Napster and
Yeah.
stuff and whatnot. So that makes sense.
That's pretty funny, actually. It's, it really, I think to me, I'm like, if a band just needs to make money, how to make money, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's just, and I just think it's harder if they go like, well, you see a shirt, you're like, what, name three songs. Who
Oh yeah.
cares? I mean, you know who the bands are. I know who really loves music. And if somebody likes the design on it, who cares? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I go and pick my son up from high school because he's a junior and he's a total metalhead, like drummer and everything. But I cannot tell you how many Nirvana smiley face shirts I see every
Yeah.
day at school, and he's like, "Yeah, they don't know who the band is," So
Right. I mean,
it's
and it's not even Nirvana getting the money anyhow at this point. I mean, it's just somebody else, right?
right,
It's totally, I mean, yeah, it's really just who cares? It's just you like the shirt, buy the shirt, help the band
sure,
out. It's just even if they don't like it, their advertisement walking around with that shirt. So,
exactly,
oh, Forbidden, I like that design. All right, there you go. No one's asking you to wear a Nike shirt. No one's saying who. Name the three top CEOs or top, what I'm
right.
saying, top three endorsers. I don't know. No one cares. But so along with Forbidden, there's going to be some time in the pockets at times. You do have a lot of other work you do with their bands, and stuff you do.
Yeah,
Peel back the cover on that because I don't know as much about that as I do in the Forbidden World, but I'm very interested because I started to hear other pieces of music you've done, which I've enjoyed. So help me enter the rabbit hole.
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, there's been so much. I mean, I've released, I think, 18 albums already between different bands. So there's a lot. Most of those bands are defunct. I'm no longer with them. Um, but the one project I'm still doing, obviously, is it's called Skinner. It's just my solo material. And what's funny is I released my last album like 3 weeks before they announced that I was the singer. So you can tell what happened to that album. That thing just got swallowed up. So most people don't even know that it's out. But Skinner's my own stuff. I'll always be doing my own solo material because I like to, you know, have my own creativity where I can kind of do what I want. Um,
Now, are you playing all the instruments? I'm sorry to miss up on you. What do you play for instruments, and are you just vocals? Like, what do you?
I can't play anything, man. I have zero skill with any instrument. I just sing, and even that was an accident from the get go. So but yeah, so Skinner is there's two albums out that people could, go and listen to anywhere. Problem is there's a lot of Skinner. You type Skinner, you're gonna find DJ Skinner and Skinner this and
Mhm.
anyone with the last name. So it probably wasn't the smartest idea to name it
Principal
that,
Skinner from The Simpsons. I mean, you guys are so many Skinners out
right?
there, right? You think of Skinner.
But when I was asked to join Forbidden, I was fronting a really heavy power metal band. I say heavy because it had a lot of thrashy and elements to
Mhm.
it and stuff. It's called Navayan. Um, we put that to bed this year. It just honestly, the Forbidden thing was kind of the nail in the coffin for that band. Since I had to step away and didn't have the time, then everyone else started losing interest in the band because
Right.
he's busy and we can go do our other things. So we did 3 albums that I'm super proud of. A lot of people are still discovering. We got a lot of album of the year
Really.
awards and nominations for, and this is for 2025 because we released our album a little less than a year ago. I think it was in March of 2025. So it's anybody that likes like that kind of European power metal, but more of a heavier side of it. It's
Mhm.
called Navayan. Feel free to check it out. Yeah,
And this is all up on the board in your website too. You have a list. I haven't decided to look at it. Your discography
yeah,
is just so overwhelmingly, it's humongous.
yeah. There's a lot. I mean, before that, a lot of
Impressive, actually. It's really good. I mean, it's not in a bad way. I mean, it's like, holy Toledo. You know what I mean?
a lot of yeah. I did the other only other really notable things would be I was with a thrash band called Imagica. That's how people first came to know who I was, and I believe
Some
I did
really
like
great album
five.
covers too.
Yeah, I did like 5 albums with them, and then I did 2 studio albums with Hellscream. Hellscream is basically a band called Cage, which you might be familiar with.
That
Um,
does sound familiar.
yeah, the drummer is now in KK's Priest.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was basically just 2 studio projects, 2 studio albums, sorry, that I
Right.
did. Not, but those bands are no more. Those projects have all been put to bed. But really, the only thing I got going right now is just my Skinner material and Forbidden. But you never know. I just love collaborating. I love writing and recording and just creating stuff. Hence, probably why I've released so many albums. I like to just be creative. So
Well, I mean, as long I think, it's a talk I always have. Like, it's funny, like in the 80s and 90s, it was always like, it's almost like you're like cheating on your girlfriend or your wife if you were looking into the band. The principal thing was like with the Metallica thing and the Echo Brain with Jason. This for Metalheads, that's the first thing you think of. Well, mostly. And you're like, it's so healthy for musicians to be because now everyone's like almost like some artists have almost like auxiliary players for certain parts of the world now. You know,
yeah,
they do come
but
out. You're like, I'm playing the South. You have these guys come. I already have a bunch of musicians that come and play this show. It's locked down a certain way. So to have all different people in your life, different musicians, it's going to be healthier to go back to, you know, more
yeah,
people in your life is good. If we didn't learn that from COVID, being locked in the house,
sure,
having a lot more people in your life every day helps out other relationships you have.
absolutely. It's funny you mentioned Echo Brain because when I was maybe 19, I think I was in a band called Traumatized, and the
Mhm.
guitar player Dylan was ended up being the guitar player for Echo Brain, but he was like 16 and I was 19. So yeah, funny that
That
I
is
haven't even thought about that guy in forever, but I do know that he went on to be with Jason in that band. So
that band got a lot of rave reviews too. It just because of everything that happened, just kind of petered out, you know.
sure,
I think with the right thing, it probably could have done well in the right. I don't think they competed. It's been so long since I heard it. I just remember they weren't competing sound wise. It was like
oh, it's
totally different
completely
thing.
different, completely different.
And it
Yeah,
could only, but I mean, I guess back then I heard that you couldn't even wear, if I've heard Jason couldn't wear Blossom shirts either. He could wear other bands, but he couldn't wear Blossom shirts.
yeah.
I heard that from another fellow musician recently. Yeah. So I mean, obviously the band's different now too. I mean, I love Metallica, so I know there's a different times, but my point is everybody, and it wasn't just Metallica, that feeling. A lot of bands had that feeling, you know. But now I think it's only been healthier. Look at your catalog, look at a lot of the bands now that play and tour and can tour because of it. If one guy
Right.
can't play and tour, I got a guy that can tour. I got a guy that records in the studio. You can still do your albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
You're not,
how about I get my guy from, this guy can't do the tour. Well,
yeah,
I got my guy from my other band. He'll learn
yeah,
some stuff for the tour. Yeah,
right. Otherwise, in the day they've been like, "What? That's blasphemy!" It's like mom and dad are cheating on each other, some kind of crazy stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
right now for the Forbidden album, we have the orchestration and stuff that's being created for a few of the songs is my keyboardist from Navayan, my power metal band. So they pulled him in to do a little work for them. So it's exactly what you were just talking about.
it's healthy, man. It's healthy for
Yeah,
songs.
sure.
My motto for this show has always been, and just for life, is: Are you serving a song? Any type of music. You know, I have all types of art on, but as it really come down to it, as an artist, is it song about, obviously it's about you because it reflects you, but is it, are you doing the song right? Are you overplaying it? Are you over Mariah carrying the song too much? You know what I mean? Or you, that's just too much. Are you over soloing it too much? You know what I mean? Guitar solo through the entire song. What are you doing vocally and lyrically to honor it? And having other people come in only allows it to get better. Otherwise, you're kind of cutting yourself off. You know, I can imagine how much better songs we would have had back in the day if they had other people kind of tweaking in, or the ones that came in, they couldn't admit they were doing the albums. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had to come up with fake names and stuff.
You
Metallica did
never
it.
know.
They sang on Danzig's
There's
album. I can't believe it. I just thought about that. They had to have different names and they sang on Danzig's debut album.
Yeah, I'm always like, it works until it doesn't, right? You get those right people in there with the right ideas, and
Mhm.
then at some point it's like, all right, there's too many cooks in here. Yeah.
No,
But
that was the copyright thing too, right? Like for songwriting, where
hmm
people like the first album comes out and like the guitar player and the singer do the writing or whatever. Album goes big, money comes in. They're like, oh, that guy's got way more money. He's got like an extra house or something. He's got way more money. Well, that's called royalties. You guys didn't want to write. Remember, you guys were out hanging out all those
hmm
years we were writing songs. Hey, we want to do that. All right, you can contribute. Next album does not sound the same or as good in many fans' eyes.
right.
But sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes I believe you do need somebody steering a ship, taking in ideas, but I do think you need to have somebody in charge. Like you mentioned Maiden, like if everybody just wrote all the same and there wasn't just, the main songwriter keeping the track of it, Maiden wouldn't have been the same.
No. Yeah, yeah.
So
I
there is a
agree.
thing. Lars and James do write the sound. They do together, you know. And I'm sure your band has a dynamic too, but the fact that you're doing something vocal, coming in this first album doing so much is pretty awesome and pretty telling, you know,
Well,
about your skills. Taking on the band has basically got a legacy to it. And letting you
sure.
come in this first album being like, yeah, we believe in you. That feels good, man.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell what how it's received, right? I mean, we can think it's the best album in the world, and this is gonna, you know, just smash all the boundaries, but only time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I'm
Okay,
I'm
Craig.
very I'm very grounded when it comes to everything like that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's different. I'm talking like if Craig comes in and says, I believe in you. I've been there from the beginning for the, you know what I mean, the sound. I think you're right, and you're right. Now, doesn't matter who's singing in it in the band. Well, each album's come out nowadays. Some of the best albums are coming out, and then no one's hearing them. So I don't think I'm saying that doesn't really matter. I'm saying you got the originators of the band saying you fit, we believe in you. That's the home run. Everything else is just like, frosting on a cake type of deal. I mean, that's in my eyes. I mean, of course, I like to see you guys sell some albums, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't take away from your skills, is what I'm saying. You know,
Thank you. Yeah.
you can't compare sales and skills together. You know what I mean? God forbid.
No, no, because there's been a lot of what I would consider great albums that
Don't make it. And a
just
lot of
didn't do
mediocre
well.
albums are
Yeah.
making way more money. You're like, I'm not going to slide them for making money, but that's way too much money for them and not the rest of us. You know. Um, in the meantime, so what else are you doing in the downtime if you're not so many bands, you're just doing your forbidden thing and kind of keep working? And so if you don't play any instruments, what are you doing for songwriting? Are you like writing lyrics and coming up with melodies and you have friends that play?
Very rarely. I'm not. I've never been one of those, singers with a book full of poetry and stuff walking around. I've never been that guy.
Skinner can't do the
Usually,
forbidden gig tonight. He's got a poetry slam. Damn, we
right.
gotta reschedule.
Usually, I've always. I'm definitely at the mercy of musicians. But the good thing is I like to collaborate with a lot of different guys. So I have a few guys that are, they just send me. I have a queue of ideas that
Mhm.
guitar players will send me songs and sometimes they'll sit for 3 years before I've really figured out what I want to do to it, or
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I just kind of work with certain individuals. I'm always open to working with anybody, so anybody wants to reach out and see if we fit on some cool stuff. I'm always down. But yeah, I usually write to the music, but every once in a while I will have an idea. I'll put a click track going, and I'll
Mhm.
just branch out and start tracking vocals with zero music, and then have them sort of reverse engineer and be like, "Hey, can you write to this?" I've done that only a handful of times, and the songs have turned out really good. It just takes the right musician to be able to do it.
Right.
Some guys can't do that. Some guys can absolutely just take a vocal and turn it into something. Other guys, it's like they're lost.
That's interesting because I mean, it also is like the right songwriter can write for the right voice, and other people, people join other bands, and nobody can actually write for that voice. And you're like, how
Oh,
is it such a great thing? And their voice isn't bad, but they sing with somebody else. You're like, it just feels like a American Idol thing, where it's just like
right.
they're not even getting the golden ticket. You know what I mean? But they were just in a platinum band. How does that even happen? Because you gotta, it is. It's writing for that voice, the
Yeah.
lyrics, the content, the melody, everything.
Some things just work on paper, right? Like off the top of my head, I remember when Sammy Hagar was out of Van Halen, right? And they're talking
Yeah.
about getting Gary Sharon, and I'm like, oh, he's the funk. He's got that funky thing, and
Yeah.
he's got that voice, and I'm like, that's probably gonna work. No, man, it didn't work for me. When I heard it, it didn't work for me at all.
No, and that was funny because I saw him in concert because I was a big Van Halen fan. I've seen all of them play, and Sammy could sing. I mean, Gary could sing vocally when he focused on it. He could be the intermediate between this, like the blending between the two, somewhat. Not doing Dave or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he
Right.
could get raspy enough and deep enough to do the voicing. But the personalities, I think, and I think his type of dancing was different than the Van Halen, David Lee Roth type of dancing. You know what I mean? I think the theatrics were different. I think the attitudes were a little different. I think I felt like Queen was becoming more of the style of the band. I mean, Gary does that good with Extreme. You know what I mean? That's what they
Sure.
rock at. That's why they're so good. But for Van Halen already had a sound. You know,
Right.
I dug Sammy in the band.
Me
Like
too.
okay,
Big
I
Sammy
think he's
fan
got
of
the
that band.
voice that could just, even to this day, he could peel the leather off a baseball. Not a lot of strong singers. Out there. I saw him for the Live Without a Net show. They did two shows in New Haven.
Oh
I think it was
wow.
'86,
I remember
and then
seeing the video of that, the
yeah.
VHS. I
So
used to own it.
yeah, I did too. But so I guess they're re-releasing some of that footage now for the bonus thing now this year. And so they did two shows. The one that they play usually, most of the footage I think is from the show I didn't go to because the one I did, they actually had to stop because Eddie broke his guitar string. And Sam was like, Eddie never does this. So he actually broke his string while playing, which is kind of an offbeat thing to remember at the time. So I'm like, oh, I wouldn't really think about it. But I'm like, yeah, he never played that show because they just, blended it. It was a good show. They just came out. He sounded great. They had a solid album, 5150. It worked. People didn't think it was going to work. It
Right.
worked. You're right. But you're right. And other things don't work that look good, you know. Um, Fitting is weird. But so when you do your vocals though, like I know some singers don't play like I don't play any guitars, but I make these guitar sounds and these chugga chugga sounds, or you know what I mean? And it sounds like they're like I kind of feel kind of silly, but you're actually writing just using the sounds of your voice and a good guitar player or someone that's on the same wavelength as you can interpret it on their guitar, you know.
Right. Yeah, I've never been face to face with a guitar player and made the sounds. I mean,
Well,
literally,
yeah,
yeah, if I'm doing the reverse thing, I'm just giving them a file and it's wide open. I go just as long as I can do what I wrote,
yeah.
write whatever you want. And then of course, I mean, it never comes back perfect, right? I'd have to tailor certain things and make adjustments, but it's always turned out really well. I've been lucky in that regard. So,
It's rare because a lot of people don't do it that way,
right,
you know.
it's very very rare
Usually
that
it's I
I
can
do.
tell you 80% it's the guitar player
Hmm.
and then the lyrics come in the melody. That's generally how it goes. Like I said, I spoke to John from Warbringer. He's actually been known to make this guitar sounds he wants with his voice, and then they get the guitar going. Then he writes the lyrics on a couple songs. He's done that because he doesn't play guitar either.
Sure.
But he's done that. He's had some success and some songs on the albums that people like. So that was something I never heard, you know. And it's very rare for someone like you to say, "Yeah, I do the vocal, the melodies, like whatever," and the guitar player kind of comes in and it's kind of like I say, it's kind of like you're building a house. It's usually the band puts the music down. It's like build a frame and a structure, and the vocals and the lyrics come in are kind of like the decorations, the
Yeah.
framework. But it's
Yeah.
like
I'm
here's
giving
the other
them
way. You're
this.
like building the insides. I'm gonna decorate this house, and then I want you to build something around it.
Exactly. Here's the staging. Now
Yeah.
build the building.
Here's the
So
curtains. Can you build a wall that looks good with those curtains, please?
yes.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
it's a
mean,
little.
where there's a will, there's a way. Just I mean, I could try to learn an instrument, but I don't know, too lazy.
No, you could do it. You could do it. I started playing at 45. Cowboy chords. This is fun. There's so much on the internet that you can learn some basics, at least if you want to do it. You surprise yourself, man.
No.
If you had ideas, you can push it. I'm saying if you wanted to, I'm not telling you you have to. I'm just saying it could be enjoyable just for fun for yourself after all these years. But some singers are like, at this point, I'm not going to do it.
No, that's me. At this point,
Oh,
I'm
good.
already in my 50s. I'm like, I'm good.
No judgment. It's all good. Sometimes it's just fun to play, when you're alone. I always say, like, when I play, I'm by myself, I'm alone. I'm still the second best player when I'm playing alone because I'm not like the worst guitarist in the world who's talked to like some of the best guitarists, been like most uneven conversations ever. But I enjoy it, so it's all good.
Right
Um,
on.
yeah. So I'm hoping that you guys make it over to my coast of in the east in the tri-state area. I'm up in New England, Connecticut.
Okay, I mean, it'd be nice. I know that we've got good booking now, and I know that they've been putting us in for some good support
Mhm.
roles on some of these tours, mainly for the US, right? A forbidden headlining tour is probably not the smartest way to go. Jumping on a good bill with another band,
Mhm.
that makes sense. So I know that there were a lot of big tours that happened in the US this year that we were in the running for, but we just didn't get. So but we'll see what happens once the album's out and we have
Yeah,
something going more than, hey, here's a return band with a couple singles out right now.
right. And then get some shows under we've done all these shows and this and that. Here's the
Yeah,
feedback. We can deliver the goods with the band. You can see the footage. Oh, I don't expect it. Like, I know that band sometimes it's affordability. It's, the show started talking about that kind of stuff. That's
yeah,
like way back in COVID touring. And I was trying to support the bands and buy the merch. And I always say that and talk about why you can't come there. And if they do come to your town, you need to go see them. But be where I'm at, sometimes you have to skip Connecticut and they go to Massachusetts, or they try, hitting certain areas. It's just economics. I get that. I always say I just hope as a fan. I'm not saying I don't expect. You know what I mean? I get the real world of it. And the joke is, with actually with Venom Inc., I don't know, I think Tony were talking about it like last year. Are you going to come in, whatever? They had a date. I was going to see him. We were all set. And I'm looking at it, there's a cancellation. I'm like, wait, I don't know if I reached to him or he saw first the club canceled. I don't know if they even told him. The one show that got canceled, and it's on their shirt, the tour shirt, was the one show. Like, I promoted it. We've been doing stuff for years, and that was like the one thing. I'm like, oh,
that's yeah.
ball luck. And that is just that's
There's so
actually,
much.
it's so, I gotta laugh at it. Kind of gotta laugh at it. I mean, it sucks, but it's just so ironic in how the world
Yeah,
works.
the average fan has no idea about all the behind the scenes and the
Oh,
things
yeah.
that go into it and stuff. It's like
They
we,
got, because Venom got, they didn't even tell them. I think the band just closed. I mean, the show the venue just closed. Didn't even tell them. You
I've
know what I
been
mean?
there. I've been there.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
think
it
I was
sucks. It affects them more than it affects me. I'm just disappointed I didn't get to see them live. It affects their tour more than me.
right. Yeah, I
You
remember
know.
going to I think it was in a Magica tour, and we were headed to Seattle or for a show on a little West Coast run, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think we were on our way there, and then we learned that, oh, no, that place, or like the place burned down like 3 days ago or something. Like no one had told us or something. So
That's the
I
worst,
recall.
man.
I don't know if hopefully I'm remembering that right. I don't
You get there and it's just like burning areas. The wood's still hot and stuff. It takes a few days for everything to go down. You're like, oh, you
know.
know, that's insane. I mean, but that's the spinal tap world of all you musicians you guys go through that people aren't aware of. And the other thing is being, I'm 55, so like I can't imagine. I don't even like a joke. I don't like driving across to another state, go visit relatives, whatever. Our friends get together, so I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I love all my friends, but I don't want to have to go. Is that the other side of town? And I have to talk to people all day long. I was like, you're lucky if people that like you, Sean. You really need to, you really need to go. I go there, have a good time. But the traveling, that's just across town for in a day for me. You guys get in a car or a van or whatever, motor lodge, and have to travel in your 50s and your 60s, and it's hard, man. And then perform your vocals it's a hard thing to do, you know?
Yeah,
So I give you
I'm
guys a
not a
lot of props, especially as you guys get older, to do it. It's
right.
even more important that fans go. I'm like, I can't go. I'm like, I gotta go because see the band. If the band can get doing it, and I'm just standing there and he's singing, I can get my butt up there.
Yeah, and I hate traveling. I'm not a fan of the travel at all. I don't care if it's on a plane or what. Uh, when I get to the place, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm in a different
Don't do
place.
it.
But the actual traveling, no matter what kind it is, I'm not a fan. I like my couch. I like to be comfortable at home.
That would be the
Uh,
success.
yeah,
You get a copy of your couch to put it like whatever you have. You know what I mean?
right.
It'd be actually your couch on it. So you kind of got that moment with you just traveling with your couch around the world.
Yeah, like I mean, this little run that we did with Venomic and Violence, it's like, you land, play a show, wake up the next day, go to the airport, next day play a show, next day go to the next airport, because we're doing country to country to
Yep.
country one show. And it's just like, oh man,
Well, yeah, I mean that's a lot. I mean, different hotels, a lot of germs going on there, different beds, different like the whole thing is just like
Mhm.
a lot. Fight being sick, your voice. You know what I mean? Oh, he didn't talk to the fans. He's trying to save his voice to perform. It's like, oh, he didn't sing good because his voice seemed tired. Oh, was he talking to the fans the night before? Like, you caught something. You're internationally flying in a plane, big tube of germs. Like,
Yeah, I'm an odd guys tell me everyone tells me I'm a really odd singer because I don't I don't save my voice whatsoever. I talk nonstop with fans. I do zero warm-ups. Um, never had lessons, and I tend to get stronger as tours go on longer. Um,
I usually hear it's the third day. Is that with you? I always hear around the third show that people feel like their voices are like, hey, vocal memory. I don't know what they call it. You know?
Maybe I don't know. I just go out there and I just do. You know what I mean? Like people, how do you warm up? I'm like, no, I guess the first song's my warm up. You know, I, and I've always been that way. I'm not one of those technically trained dudes who has his little warm ups and is doing his air and
Yeah.
whatever. I just man, let it roll. As long as the attack is there and you hit your notes and stuff and put on a show. This is metal. You know.
There's a few bands, there's a few singers that just still have to do that, even though they weren't classically trained. They still have to sing something or scream something because they want to come out and they want to hit that note. There's a certain high note in one of their songs in the opening up. They make
Oh,
sure they,
yeah, like I could not do Chalice of Blood out the gate with the first power scream.
yeah.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. Some bands that will be like, I got to come out. I know our opening song the fans love is Shrink, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Yeah.
like, it's a high vocal. Usually it's roar, but I go, there's some high notes. I goes, I have to warm up. I can't come out and hit that note. I also can't do it at the end of the show if I've been doing a heavy show vocally, because there will be a dip as my voice goes through the, you know what I mean?
I definitely get the first part of that. Yeah. I absolutely there's a lot of songs where I'm like, yeah, I can't do that first. Second to last, fine. But just yeah, my voice does need some sort of singing that's
Yeah,
warming it
a
up
little warm
before
up, but I mean, but
yeah.
for the most part, that's pretty incredible that you can do that, especially at this point at your age, you know? Not
Yeah,
that
I
we're
don't know.
walking,
Like
not
we
that we're
went
calling AARP and anything on you with the new, the Sennheiser ARP microphone set for you or something. It's
I'll take it. Free gear.
it'd be awesome,
Uh,
right? The over 55 Sweetwater catalogs coming in the mail for you,
it was like
all
we went in to
discounted.
record when we were doing vocals. I went in. I think I did like 4.5 to 5 songs the first day, and they're like, "You still going?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, let's keep recording." I mean, I just I don't know. I just get stronger. It's a muscle. It's all muscle, right? I mean, just the more you use
It's
it,
also just you're just genetics. Because I mean, like I said, I've talked to hundreds of singers, all
maybe. I
different
mean, I've
levels of the
never
field.
I've never smoked or anything. I don't really drink much. So I mean, I do take care of myself. I mean, other than I eat
Sometimes it helps,
horribly,
sometimes it doesn't. Look at Keith Richards.
right? Right?
He helped build the pyramids, and that dude it's like all the drugs, and he's still rocking. You know what I mean?
Those are preservatives.
They are
They're
preservatives, right?
preserving it.
He is just that's so funny. Um, but there are some musicians that just they've done everything and they've done nothing, and their voice still goes. Some of them you can tell they beat it. Just know, well, rock and roll is hard. I'm like, well, also when you're talking to me right now, and I've had the interview with this certain person, well, my voice is beaten. I get that, and I wish I wrote it slower notes. I get that, but you're also smoking a cigarette and drinking a whiskey as we're talking, and you are in your 70s.
Yeah,
Mm.
there are some. I've seen some videos of some bands that I grew up listening to, and I'm just like, "Ooh, yeah."
Those are some of my guests, and I've talked about that with some of them, and they're like, "Well, it is what it is." And they say, and the guy says, "What do you do? You get a lot of slack for it." And he says, "Well, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. What do you want? It's like a rubber band. It's just not working that good. That's it." So to actually know that you're performing is the other thing I think at the level you want, and still be able to go there and get beat up so badly. That's a different mindset too. I'm like, I don't think I could do that either. I don't know if it's confidence, not being aware of it, not caring. I mean, either way, it's a special place to be. And you know what I mean? Because people are still paying them. They're showing up, and I,
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're. I mean,
you,
so
you
I
know,
don't know.
it's hard. I'm not putting you in this spot. I'm saying, but to me, it's always. I always think it's interesting to be. I like to talk to singers that are on stage, you're performing, and it's more the mindset to be like getting nervous. Like, so I talk to a certain artist, I don't mean to like, but I talk to like Dom Klingon, I'm like, I'm not getting nervous. You know what I mean? At this point, but some people still get nervous. Some people still throw up, or
Yeah,
they talk about like, Don McLean's like he's 80. He's like he still remembers he does this his whole set's still spontaneity. He knows what songs to do. He makes it as he goes. He says, I'm thinking 3 songs ahead. And I'll talk to somebody else from another band like Clutch or whatever. And Neil Fallon's like, yeah, sometimes I get distracted. I'm thinking about something else. He'll admit that he forgets. And like some bands will just forget because you're so used to singing it. And also you're like looking at the audience and you're thinking, well, oh,
sure,
you get distracted.
right.
So
Yeah,
there's that. So the psychology of being a singer because you're performing with a band. You don't have an instrument, so your voice is an instrument subject to the weather, the temperature, colds, and that's everything. You are also conducting. You're a conductor, and you're also the MC.
sure.
And so I mean, you've got a lot of different hats to wear to deliver the goods. Even if it just seems like you're just standing there screaming. So the psychology of it is really always interesting because everyone's so very different how they look at it.
Yeah, I've never been a nervous guy. I just kind of go and do it. It's you just it's like I just look at it like, oh, look at all these friends here. Let's have a good time and just that
That
sort
sounds
of
really
party.
healthy and confident. Like you must have been brought up in a healthy situation or something where you're like
I,
a
I just
commune or something in the 70s where it's like all about love, guys.
I mean, this was all like I said, going back to what I was saying, the singing thing. I mean, I was in high school and I was hanging out with friends, and they had a singer for their little talent show band they were going to do. And I think it was 2 weeks before the talent show, they called me and they're like, "Yeah, homeboy quit." I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." Yeah, you're singing now. I don't sing. What are you talking about? But I was like, sounds fun. Let's do it. Never sang a note in my life. They never heard me. And it was really bad. I could not
You know what
sing.
song you sang?
I sang it was Inner Sandman and Smells Like Teen Spirit because those were the popular things when I was a junior. Because I'm 50, so I
Okay.
was class of '93. So those were the first 2 songs I ever sang, and I kind of caught the bug. We got disqualified because all our friends were stage diving and pitting, and this is in the school theater.
Yeah.
So and the parents are like, "What is going on?"
It
And
sounds like you guys won then. It sounds like you won to
we
me.
ultimately, and
Yeah, if they're stage diving at your show,
yeah,
you guys win. Well, you care
and
about the gym
I was
teacher
just like,
says you're good. It's a gym teacher.
I was like, oh, this is cool. I think I'm going to continue messing with this band thing, and just kept rolling with it throughout the years.
What an
But that,
interesting first
yeah,
2 songs too, because it was such
yeah,
a weird time for music. Because they're very kind of, you can say they're similar, but they're also different in
yeah.
like image and genreizes. I guess when you listen to them, probably not the same. I was in a situation when I'm 55. I was singing in high school bands and doing the same thing. And some singer from one of the bigger high school bands got kicked out of the band or quit or whatever. So I went down and tried out for them. Like, all right, it was, they had me and I was going to do the talent show with them. As all part of this band or whatever. And I got in trouble by my parents. And they're like, we know you want to do the show. So you're not, they punished me. They pulled me out. So I didn't even got one show with them. And it was going to be the talent show. And looking back at my voice, I'm like, probably better it happened that way. It sucked at the time. It was kind of a crappy way to do it. But the song we were going to do was like, it was going to be like, I think, Iron Maiden and like Run to the Hills and I think Red Hot by Motley Crue
Okay,
because 5 year difference between us. So
yeah.
you know, but still, I mean, it's still not that a huge difference in the group. So I
No,
mean, but once
yeah. I
again, it would have been
mean,
the same thing. But those are higher notes. Those weren't as raspy. So that would be like a young guy trying to sing those higher notes without a developed,
right.
without the mature voice. I think no one of us realized without the mature voice doing the high notes is different than just having a high note and sounding like you're in the choir. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, we're talking about the age thing. It's like when Forbidden formed. I think it was like '87 or something like
Mm.
that. I mean, I was 12. You know what I mean? Like, when they were putting out was '89. They were putting out their album. I was 14. I
Yeah.
wasn't even quite knowing what music was happening. I was starting to get into listening to
That's
music.
that's crazy because yeah, because that 89, 90, those were Twisted, right? I'm mine's
Yeah,
getting old
so
now.
'90, I
So
was
so when that came out,
15.
I was interning for Relativity Combat and Effect Records because I went to school for music and
Mhm.
recording. I went down in Georgia, and so we get the internships. Was at a record label, coolest record label ever. Steve Vai came in to get his album came out. He came in for dinner, so the intern hung out with the interns. So we got all
Nice.
the props. I got Forbidden when it first came out before the album cover was on it. I got the posters, a promo poster of the album cover. All those bands at the time, Nuclear Assault did this is the Hand with Care album. Like it was a good time for music for you know. Um, but yeah, I was like 19 or 20 then when you were yeah. So That was a good time for that to come to
Yeah,
it.
I
So
feel I
so
feel sometimes that I missed. If I was just like maybe 5 years older, I would have caught at least the tail end of something great. But when I was getting into music,
well, I think being in Forbidden right now, you are catching the tail end of something great.
yeah, I'm definitely catching the tail end of it, right? Um, Better late than never, you know.
It's a genre of music to me, and it always goes back to one of my favorites because just like heavy metal from back then had some of the best guitar players, and like a lot of death metal people like the '80s metal because the guitar is just fantastic, and there's some image to it. But to me, and one of the things that I think I realized when I was talking, Alex Skolnick from Testament is like them and everyone in these bands, and Craig did it, and all these guys had almost a different guitar tone. The vocalists had their own voice during this thrash era. Dave
Sure.
Mustaine sounds like he would never make it singing anywhere else except singing Dave Mustaine songs. Hello,
Right.
me. But man, when you hear Peace Sells, you're like, okay, yeah, you know, but he's not going to sing, Killing Me Softly. I
No,
mean, maybe he
no.
could. I'm not going to judge
We
him.
could
I'm
we
not going to,
could we can do that with
yeah,
AI now, though.
we could. I'm not going to tell him no. My point is, but Dave's songs are Dave's songs, and anybody sounding them goes, yeah, it's not making that though. And that's what I'm saying. There's a window of all these vocalists. Russ has got a voice. Like all you guys have voices. So you kind of, at the time, Chuck's voice, it's all very different.
Love Chuck. He's Chuck
Yeah,
Billy's my probably my favorite. Has always been my favorite thrash singer by
there's some
far.
new music coming. I heard some new Chuck Billy singing music coming.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
sorry,
just
I'm
heard that recently.
salivating over here just thinking about that.
So I know he was been talking about doing a solo album, and I know he's talked to some people, and I know some people have heard, and I don't know if the album they heard was a Chuck Billy solo album, or if it was Chuck Billy singing on some New Testament because they're also working on some New Testament stuff.
Okay,
And I don't think I'm seeing putting anything that people haven't already talked about because they've been shared. Those people said I don't know if I should be sharing this already on my show, so it's been shared. But the truth is, hell yeah, Chuck Billy's a great singer. He's a great guy, you know. Uh, So I'm looking forward to it. I was like, yeah, you got to put an album out, man. And I talked to him like, I would love to hear him singing. But once again, you know what I'm saying? These are all great voices that were so different,
yeah,
and they wrote to their voices. The guitar tones were something you didn't hear. Testament didn't sound like Forbidden, didn't sound
no,
like Nuclear Assault. They all
right,
sounded like completely different bands in the lineup. Nowadays, you put a bunch of bands together, and the guitar tones have the same, everything's even mixed the same frequencies, you
yeah.
know, and
A
the
lot of
same
the new thrash
cadence.
bands all
Yeah.
sound very similar. Yeah,
I love hearing a thrash band that is old school sounding. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just like damn kids in their new music. It's not even that because I'll go listen to new music. I'm like, it's just not differentiating itself from different things. You don't even have your own different thing in it, you
yeah.
know?
It's tough because I'll hear some of these throwback
Hmm.
kids doing this throwback sound, and it's like I do like it, but at the same time, it's like where are you at in this? Because I'm just hearing rehashed riffs
Right.
from things that we grew up with, and then at the same time, I'll hear new stuff where it's like it just doesn't have that purity that's missing. So, but then you get the ones where they do it right.
Yep.
There's some up and comers where you're like,
There are some old covers that I've heard some,
it's
and,
good.
I'm always listening and I'm going back, and I almost find myself going back to listen to older, heavier metal, doom, thrash, metal. Like I'm just going so heavier into just having everything because I'm so tired of the regurgitated stuff. I'm just like I'm going back, you know what I mean? Into all
Sure.
types of music. It's just I'm like, oh, it's too much, you know. Um, but hey man, I want to thank you for taking some time today.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
this has been fantastic. I want to have you come back on. Maybe we'll do it when the album comes out.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about your lyrics, man. I love doing lyrics.
I'm
We'll
I'm
pick it
all, I'm
apart.
always I'm always down to a chat. I'm a chatterbox. So
I can't imagine you and Tony because like I'm a chatter person. I'm the jibber jabber guy. Tony is the jibber jabber guy. Tony
yeah,
Dolan.
we get along super well, Tony and I. I love that
I
guy.
he is a superhero. The energy, the positivity of him, and I, I gotta be honest. Of the tours, that tour of those three bands, that would be a dream thing for me to see those three shows. I wouldn't, And when
I
Tony said
think
that, oh, you guys are the show's gonna happen, we were because we chat all the time, me and Tony. I'm like, dude, I go, we gotta get to promote it. We gotta get everybody together. Think we can do it? He's like, yeah, let me call Sean and let me call Craig, and then to coordinate because everyone's in the same time zone and on the same schedule, of course. Like, so like to get all those guys on the same time from like Tony the other side of the world, and then I think Sean I was like in Texas, and then Craig's up in the Bay or something. Like I don't know,
right.
everyone's like a different. I'm in New England. Four different time zones like in one spot to talk. We did it.
Well, I loved it. I actually watched the whole episode of the show. So
Did you?
it did. It was really, really cool. Yeah, that's how I learned that Tony was in Master and Commander. I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
So
dude, yeah, you tell you all the stories of his film stories. Like he's got some
yeah,
great.
so on the flight down there, the long flight, I'm going through the movies and I see Master. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna watch that again. So I watched it just before we got down to Peru. But yeah, and I'm also a huge, I'm a collector, a Masters of the Universe collector.
Mhm.
So I was talking with Tony because he was telling me he auditioned as Ram Man for the new movie. Didn't get the part,
Ah,
but he was telling me all about the sets and everything. So yeah.
he would be good at it too. He would be a good.
Oh,
His
absolutely.
personality, you know, it'd be a shame because I don't want to like lose him because I love Venom Inc. I love his voice. I love what's happening to the band. I think they did great Venom because he's earned it. But the future of the sound of the band, I'm excited about it. But he's so big in personality, he would also do well to be in films. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So it almost feels like he should be doing a couple of films every now and then, just because it's just it feels like a ripoff. You know, of all the cheesy actors that are out there, like he's like, you know what I mean?
Right. And then for the three bill, I mean, all three bands had a blast. And we all
But
said,
all
you
sound
know,
different. You
we
guys all sound different though, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're like, if we can do this again, if we can put it together, if there's promoters that are wanting to make it work, all of us, we're like, we're all friends. We're like, we'll
Mhm.
totally do it. It's just gotta make sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's I can't see, and I don't understand some of the bigger bands that are. I'm not going to say any names. That are in the same peer group of you guys, of all you guys, that maybe got a little bigger. That why they wouldn't want to take a package of, say, them and two or three bands like you guys, because you're already going to have a built-in audience there for you, and this is it for the support, and it's a good bill. You know what I mean? And it's your peer group. It's like a fun time, and that's gonna bring in the rest of the people for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
somebody just want to see your band. They're like, yeah, I'm on the fence about that. Say the headline band. I'm not gonna say who they are, or whatever makeup band it is. But you know, there's a bunch out there that are doing a little bigger than you guys. They're like, yeah, but I haven't seen Sean for Violence, or I haven't seen new lineup with they got a new singer for Forbidden, or man, that crazy guy Tony's gonna just blast it out. You know what I mean? Like, there's all other ways to kind of I like that band, but oh, the other bands are doing that's where you're at. I think with a lot of you guys, or you know, some people like other bands sort of a little bit, but then if two more come in, it sweetens the pot for that package
Oh,
for
absolutely.
but for
You're
different
ready to
ways
throw
for
your
different
money out
people.
a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you know, someone's gonna like different versions of that package enough to pull in enough. That's
No,
me. I'm not the counting the peanuts at the
right.
you
No,
know,
I agree 100% with you.
it
Yeah.
just feels as a fan, and I think that would happen talking to fans like you and I. But then showing up at a show, like people don't pre-buy at shows tickets anymore. Walk-ups are doing better for rock bands and metal bands generally. I'm hearing at venues because they don't have to babysitter, whatever they're going to reason to show up. But for some reason at the night they're like, yeah, I'll go, and they're just selling at the door, and those shows are still selling. But it's nervous because you don't have those guarantees coming in.
Yeah, that's where it makes the promoters nervous, right? They're like, I mean, even in South America, it's almost all walk up. And the new guy we were working with, he wanted to cancel two of the other shows that we played because they were worried about the amount of people that did pre-sale. Of course, when they showed up and they bought the tickets, it was fine. You know, I think one of the shows they moved to a smaller venue because of that, and then it was just packed out the door. So takes knowing your market, right, and working with the right people.
It's hard. I know promoters are hard. I know it's even harder overseas for you guys because you don't know them. You can't really validate or check. It's only word of mouth at that point, you know. I know it's really even sketchier. Sometimes you get the better gigs, but it's also sketchier
Sure,
for,
yeah,
for some of the shows I've heard. You don't have to say it, I've heard from other people. And I mean, that's a sign of bravery for you guys. I give you credit for just going out there and kind of covering your eyes and being like, all right, let's see what happens, you know.
right.
Um,
I love
but
that old meme. It's like you see like the three guys. It's like a three piece. They're on the floor. And they're just rocking out. There's just one guy standing there like, "We'd like to thank Bobby for coming out tonight." I love that.
you know, but it's awesome because if the band gets to the point, you have those shows and you can say, I was reading something. They go, oh yeah, and this show was this big band, and they only had like seven people at the gig. The guy's like, I was there, and it's like I was like seven. I was the seventh one. He says, you know, and this is a pretty big band, and he's like, but no one's there. But and to survive that and look back at that is kind of funny. But I mean, I saw a show. Have you ever been to the Masquerade in Atlanta?
Yeah, if I played there
Is
with
it
my band Navian, actually.
okay? So it's an
Yeah,
interesting club because it's got people that aren't
yeah.
aware. I don't even know if it's the same club anymore. It basically Upstairs was Heaven. Was it called still
And
Heaven?
Hell is the
And
other,
Heaven
yeah,
and Hell and Purgatory. So Purgatory
yeah,
is like a weirdly lighted nightclub. I don't know if it's emotion time. They had a rock shop there too for clothes. Heaven had like the bar that was like cloned off like the Roadhouse, I think, so you couldn't drink there. It used to be I think it had the higher stage, and then Hell was like disco, I think, at the time. This was back in the 90s, so it may have changed since then.
sure. It's still
And
there though. I know
yeah,
that.
I saw most of the bands I saw there were like, you know, I saw Pantera come down and open for Prong. And the show, Pantera Cowboys had just come out and Prong had just released their album, so it was not a packed show. It was a good audience, maybe a couple hundred, but not what you'd expect. You know what I mean? And then yeah, I said, and Pantera came back the same show, and then Pantera were headlining it, like in the same tour thing, and they filled up a little bit more. You know, I mean, Prong are awesome. I love Prong. I've had, to this day. So, but you never know. It changes. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, at that time, in a flip of a hat, the audience has changed because Cowboys just hit commercially, so it doesn't take away from Prong. It's just Cowboys just hit
Yeah, it
MTV.
was blowing up. So
I mean, at that point, Dimebag came off the stage when they're opening, and I was talking to him off the stage, and we did some other shenanigans with him, you know, get some Dimebag stories from them because at that point he was just no one really knew who he was, except for me and my girlfriend at the time. And then next time they came through, you couldn't get near anybody. The place was just packed within like a couple months. So, that's a luck of the draw. But uh, you know, I hope you guys can make it somewhere close enough where I can come down and see you play live.
I mean, we're wanting to. We're
I'm
I
sure.
mean, our management and everybody's putting in. So I'm, I'm ready to hit the road. I'm ready to play everywhere. So even
I
though I
know
don't
Venom
like
Inc. wants to,
traveling, I'm
yeah,
ready.
and I know Venom Inc. wants to come back over too. So might be a good time to get some people just talking again. Good
Sure.
package
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that would be awesome. We'll putting it out to the universe.
It'll manifest it.
That's right, we will. No, I want to thank you, man. The links are gonna be below on streaming, Spotify, YouTube, blah, 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 it's everywhere. You can't avoid it.
Everywhere. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Check it out. I look over this discography. It's incredible. Some really great metal album covers too. I
Thank
just want
you.
to say, I want to tell you that is it the magical one, the My Bloodied Wings. That's got a
Uh,
great demon face, right? I mean, one of the best
yeah,
things
that's
about doing metal is the album covers and the artwork, right? I'm a
yeah.
sucker for that kind of stuff. I just, I like being a nice person in real life, but man, the imagery is so cool.
I mean, I mean, it's the packaging, right? You're still, I mean, going
Yeah.
back to when we were younger and we would just, this looks cool. I think I'm going to buy it without
Well,
even
I can't tell
hearing
you
it.
how many conversations we've had about that, like albums that were
Yeah.
horrible. You know what I mean? There's been whole discussions of like coolest album cover, and you play it, you like it just like it was recorded in a garbage can. The songs are horrible, but
You're,
you kept it because that was the best looking vinyl you had.
right. You're
You
like,
know,
that one was a miss, but I'll hang it up.
yeah, I'm gonna keep the album cover. Yeah, it's a great album cover. I mean, you got some pretty good album covers here too. I mean,
Awesome.
from your other bands are, good imagery, good symbols. I'm just speaking out loud as I look at this. I want people interested in coming and checking out your actual site and looking at this stuff and check out, and then all your socials. You have a really well put together website too, actually. Not
Thank you.
surprised, but I
I
mean,
built it myself. So
well, good for you. Because I mean, wow, look at the videos here are put together in order, not dead blocks. I do a lot of ghost towns. I see a lot of ghost towns when I try to put it together at the end to direct people somewhere. So I want to actually give you props because this is not a ghost town. This is not the AOL
no.
hours built with AOL hours disk site. This is done pretty well. Really well. Store, I got everything here.
Yeah, I
Pretty
went
cool,
ahead
man.
and built the Forbidden website as well for the band because the one they had when they got back, I told them, I'm like, this is not good. You got a lot of broken links. You got things that don't go anywhere. It's not updated. We need, let's bring it
It's
into.
hard. I think it's hard for some because some people want to be musicians and then they're like, I feel like I'm not doing social media enough. You know what I mean? I talk to some
Mhm.
people, I'm like, you don't have to do all your social media. Don't listen to the promoters or the PR guys. Pick one
Right.
thing you like to do, pop on a couple times a month, be available for the fans, write good music and play when you can.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't
No,
worry about
absolutely.
TikTok. Don't be doing the latest dances. Don't be, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just go on Facebook once in a while, maybe do a chat once in a while. It's fun, or something, or Instagram, or play a clip of rehearsal, get people excited so they remember who you are.
Sure. Actually,
Don't be a slave to social media.
I should
But
probably go on and do a Facebook Live today now that I'm thinking about
you should.
it.
People love it. And I'll send it to you so we can cross promote it. I want people to really, check you
Awesome.
out.
Thank you.
Um, I'm definitely a newer fan of you. The more I've dug into your other songs too, you know what I mean?
Oh, awesome.
It's a lot. You're actually it's emotionally overwhelming. I gotta be honest with you. To listen to all these lyrics, it's gonna be a lot for me. It's gonna take a long time to digest all this. Um, but it's great. It's good time talking to you, man. And you're very easy to talk to. I can't imagine how chill that tour was with you guys.
It was pretty relaxed, which is nice because I'm a very go with the flow, chill person in
Mhm.
general. So I like to have those similar energies around me.
Well,
Um,
I can see it fitting in all the band members I've talked to, and Craig, the same thing, talking to him. He's very chill, good songwriter. I mean, I think you're where you need to be. I think uh commercially, Forbidden's at a good spot for you coming out vocally. It brings you a better visibility. You can never compare like sales and popularity. Like
oh
it's not
yeah,
fair. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes obviously a better band is popular, but overall, I'm
sure,
saying in this genre though, it's very much hit or miss.
right. Yeah, I mean we're
So it's
primed.
nice to get the golden ticket and be in a spot where people are knowing who you are.
Sure, yeah.
In
I,
the
I
band you
love
love to be in. It's just win-win.
yeah, I love the exposure. The band, we got the new album ready to go. We got good management. We got good lawyers. We got good booking. And
Mhm.
now we're on a major label, so everything's primed to go well. Let's hope this
Yeah.
album backs up everything that's been but the people that have heard the music and that signed us and that are working with us, they're very excited. I'm being told that what they're hearing exceeds expectations by a lot, so hopefully
Good.
the
Who are you signed
fans.
with? Is that known yet? Did you share that guys? I
Black,
don't know if you guys
yeah, we just
who?
signed to the new subsidiary of Frontier Records, Black to Black, same label as
Okay.
Megadeth.
Okay.
So
Maybe
yeah,
then I might get that. I get a lot of albums sent to me every week. Hundreds of
yeah.
them.
So
Hundreds of
yeah,
them.
Black to Black. It's their new. I think Megadeth was their first signing for it,
Okay.
and then I know Biohazard was signed on there recently. We're
Yep.
assigned on there. So yeah,
They signed him just in time for Megadeth's last album. And Dave does a
yeah,
solo album that sound like Megadeth.
right,
Gonna realize he can't. No one can quit metal. I don't know why people keep saying that. I want to
yeah,
smack
right,
people in the knuckles. You're not gonna really quit. You're gonna slow down.
yeah. You're gonna die, and then you're
You're
done.
gonna die doing metal. You can't not be a musician unless you just can't do it anymore. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, so I'm hoping that I'm excited. Hopefully I'll see it before everybody else in my mailbox to preview. So,
Awesome.
all right, brother, let's talk again. Maybe down in the summer when the album comes out. Probably summer, fall is my
Okay.
guess if things go as we're supposed to go. Not putting it out there. Not saying you said that. I'm just saying math wise, it's probably going to
Sure.
be later summer to fourth quarter, third, fourth quarter, maybe if we're lucky. I'm hoping.
That's a hope. We'll see.
Otherwise, it'll be first quarter next year, and we'll be like, all right, fine. It's good though. All
Awesome.
right, man. You have a good day.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care. Bye bye.